the trip, in response to the trip the team took to Napa last weekend. You're one of the only players left who's been here through a really difficult ownership transition. Could you talk about the importance, both for the team and the growth of the W, of owners like Joe and Clara Wu Tsai, who have such an interest in positioning the Liberty as a top-class work environment and organization?
Yeah, I mean, you can really feel that they're wanting this, not only the New York Liberty to grow, but they're wanting the league to grow. And to have ownership like that is pretty incredible, because I'm hoping that they're going to encourage and also sort of push other teams to want to follow their lead, I guess. And then to play for ownership like that, who has a genuine interest in the success of us as individuals and as a team and as a league, I mean, that's pretty empowering for all of us. So I'm incredibly grateful to have ownership like Joe and Clara.
Thanks so much. And Nay, I'll go to you for this next one. Both you and Beck are versatile defenders capable of defending multiple positions on the court. How has Beck's game and flexibility in particular helped you develop your own skill set this season?
How she helped me?
Yeah.
You know what? She's a perfect role model. I can't ask for anyone better. You know what? You see her defense, the long arms, everything, the steals. I think she gets like 3 steals a game. 4, 5, like under. I don't know, 6, 7 steals a game. Honestly, I want to be like her myself.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Good luck this weekend.
Thank you.
Yep, I agree. Good afternoon, both of you. Thank you for joining us today. Beck, my question is for you. My first question is for you anyway. Recently over at ESPNW, Lauren Jackson referred to you as, quote, "When she gets on a run, you cannot slow her down. She's just a great offensive weapon. Defensively, she has a real nose for the ball." So, Nay, I know it's maybe we defer to Lauren Jackson on this, but what does it mean to have a game, not just on the WNBA level, but on an Australian basketball level, say that about you?
I mean, for me, it's really lovely to be honest. Like, Lauren Jackson was someone that I followed as a junior, and still she's inspiring generations still to this day without actually being on the court anymore. That's a pretty incredible thing and an incredible achievement for her. So I guess for her to be have followed my game as it's grown throughout the last few years in particular, and it's a nice thing to hear.
And as someone who has experienced success in New York before, partaking in the 2017 playoff trip, and not just that, but several other big tournaments, both internationally and as well as a member of the Opals, what can you say? What's the best piece of advice you can impart on this young team as you guys prepare to regain control of your destiny and potentially make a run at the postseason?
The biggest thing is to stay in the moment. I think that's a huge thing. It's a bit of a cliche, but it's pretty accurate. And those moments can be as small as a play phase. It doesn't have to be an entire game. We don't need to be thinking about, we must do this to make playoffs. It needs to be every small detail. So staying in the moment, and then I really am a believer that defense wins games in the end, and especially when you get into playoffs, defense is sort of everything. So that's my advice.
Appreciate that, Beck. Thank you. And Nay, I have a question for you as well. This has been such an interesting year. You go from the bubble, you go to New York right now. How do you think you've ensconced yourself into the New York culture at this point? And where have you made your biggest improvement in your game from the bubble till now?
Honestly, it's hard to embrace the New York culture with COVID going on, but we try to take it in as much as we can. It's a lot. It's a lot. Definitely different from LA, but I'm getting used to it and I enjoy it here. As far as playing, just kind of have the role and just kind of learn and grow, learn people like Beck, and just do my thing, I guess.
Appreciate your time and insight, both of you. Have fun this weekend.
Thank you.
Haley McGoldrick.
Hi, ladies. Kind of going off of Jeff's question, you talked about Lauren Jackson a bit. For you guys, obviously the W25 was named as influential women in the last 25 years. Coming into the season, obviously this was a big season for that reason. It was an Olympic.
Say the next bit again.
Sorry. There obviously was a big season. It was an Olympic year as the 25th season. What did the women who came before you, especially the ones like Lauren Jackson, Swing Cash, how did they have an impact on your career where you are now? And this is for both of you.
Yeah, so for me in particular, the players I've played with, or even with the Australian stuff that you've watched as a kid, they've sort of paved the way because they've set a standard. I think that's a big part. They've really set a standard of this is where the league is and this is where I want it to go. And they've really pushed for more. And I think that that's a big thing that us now coming through the, you know, the system and coming through the league and all of that stuff is that, well, we need to continue that push. We need to keep it at that sort of level and grow the game. And I think that that's something that I really take from the players before us, and also just how proud of the leagues that they've played in they are. I think that's another thing that even when we've spoken to them recently, it's nice to hear.
You said well.
Thank you.
Last question, Sarah Valenzuela.
Hey, Nay. Hey, Beck. I'll try and speak a little bit louder for you guys. I know it's loud over there. Just coming towards the end of this season, I know, Beck, you weren't in the Wubble last year, but Nay, just sort of a reflection on how far you and this young core has come since last year to about the same point in your season this year.
Well, for starters, we won more than 2 games. So, you know what? That's definitely some growth there. But also the team is just a lot better as far as just, you know, playing together, playing as a collective, as a group. And I think we build off of each game. You know, maybe it doesn't reflect it with the score, but I think we're building, and that's something that, you know, we didn't necessarily do last year.
Really quick as a follow-up, just Beck, since you weren't there last year, coming in through all the changes that happened this year, players coming in and out because of waivers, whatnot, whatever changes because of the season, what have you been able to take away just watching the younger players and playing sort of a mentor this season?
I think that what's sort of special about our group is that I know we've got veteran players, we've got people that are louder than others, and you've got more rookies, but everyone's got a voice. You know, you've got everyone who's able to speak to anyone at any time on the court and give feedback. And I think when you've got that, you know, two-way communication, that's big for growth as a group. And for me, it's a different experience and it's a nice experience. And I think that that's why, you know, we're able to make steps, and you know, you might lose a couple of games, but then there's still that hunger to get the next one. So I think we've created a really good environment here.
Thank you.
Great. Thanks, Beck and Nay, and thank you all for joining us. We'll send a copy of the recording shortly.
Really appreciate you guys for joining us for media today. This is Jasmine Jones. Great job, Beck and Nay.